Mr. Trez, I think every single practice, I think you got to aim for every practice to be fun, right? So I think there's two training routines that you might not be familiar with that you can repeat every single day that you're going to see your players really respond to and have a lot of fun, because it raises their training intensity. It helps improve their ball skills, their ball mastery, and their technical skills. So their juggling, their dribbling, passing and shooting. And so my question is that I'm not sure of is how developed are their fundamental skills, right? If your players can't juggle or dribble to a degree, right? If they barely have mastery of juggling and dribbling and juggling, then you want to do this routine with them. This is the Tom Turnbull practice routine for players without great fundamentals, and it looks like this. It goes ball mastery, dribbling sequences, a juggling game called the barrel game, and then it finishes with 1v1. Players play 1v1 against each other to tall cones, the cones that you could knock over in a small area. So the way you learn ball mastery, and the way you teach ball mastery, one way is called Cover Coaching. It's a free app online. It's a free app on the App Store, or you could find it online. That's COERVER. And the progression goes, you teach one skills move, and then the next practice you review it, and then you learn another. So it goes. So for example, you could say, okay, first practice you show everyone how to do a chop, right? So you do the chop. So everyone chop, everyone chop, everyone chop. And then that practice, okay, everyone show me your chop. Everyone shows you their chop, and then you show them the drag, right? So it's chop, then drag. And the next practice, you review. Everyone show me your chop. Everyone show me your drag. Now now we're gonna learn the Cruyff, right? So that's the progression. Learn a move, then you teach a move. Then next practice you review it. You review moves from the past, and then you learn more. So by the end of the season, right? You think about each practice, you learn a new move. You can learn between 25 and 50 ball mastery moves that'll help players be more comfortable on the ball and have more fun playing. Next is dribbling sequences. A fun dribbling sequence that's easy to teach, easy to learn, easy to teach is called the Tom Turnbull dribbling sequence. And with one foot, you go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And then you repeat it with the other, with the other foot. Here, I'll show you. Goes like this. You go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. You repeat that over and over and over. And the key is saying it out loud as you do it. This helps you develop a mind-body connection, which will help your players be more relaxed while dribbling. Dribbling sequences are so powerful is because it helps players not think about dribbling. That's what kind of tricks messes players up. They don't know how to formulate how they're uncomfortable with dribbling. So this teaches them how to be comfortable while dribbling because it's a rhythmic pattern. And plus, as you say it out loud, that further improves their ability to be relaxed while dribbling. Then you go right into a barrel game. The barrel game is you take a bucket, a garbage can, any type of vessel. You could, if there's no garbage cans by the soccer field where you practice at, you can invest in a $20 brute barrel online, right from Amazon, $20 barrel, and that'll do the trick. You put it in the middle of the field, or you put all your players, you have them circle around it, and then the goal is to juggle the ball from the hands into the barrel using different parts of your body, with or without the bounce. Players who are much more advanced can start further away without a bounce from the ground. Players who are more beginner can start closer to the barrel from their hands with a bounce. That's why this game scales beautifully, because players of different skills and abilities can compete against each other. It's like in golf. Some players play from the blues, some players play from the reds, some players play from the whites, right? Different strokes for different folks. So the progression is right foot with a bounce, left foot with a bounce, both feet alternating with a bounce. Then it's right thigh with or without a bounce, left thigh with or without a bounce, then both thighs alternating with or without a bounce. And finally, you finish with any part of the body you want with or without a bounce. So let's say you do the whole progression with a bounce, then the next challenge would be do the whole progression without a bounce, right? So you could see how just by taking away the bounce and adding distance away from the barrel, you can make this drill exercise harder or easier. Next thing you want to keep in mind is you want to let players go at their own speed, right? If Tracy is much more advanced, she could probably get through the whole progression in 15 minutes without a bounce from 10 yards away. However, Katie might get stuck on her left foot with a bounce just because she hasn't developed that ability. So you want to let players go at their own pace instead of using a whistle and pausing it with each step of the progression. Then from there, you go right into 1v1 to cones. So let's say you have your sideline. You set up cones maybe 3 or 4 yards apart. Right, a few steps, put a cone down, a few steps, put a cone down, and then you mirror that same cone line a few steps in the opposite direction. So you have a grid. Right, you have a grid that players play against. So 5 minutes, they play against each other, try to knock each other's cone over, and then they switch partners, play another 5 minutes, and they switch partners again. 15 minutes of 1v1. And that's a session. You could have run that session back every single time, and that's going to be a lot of fun because it's the fundamentals, right? It's essentials that players need to do well. So I'm going to cut this video off because I have to find my room key, and then I'll continue with the next part. All right, thank you.